I mailed myself a trap. USPS walked right into it. It all started about 3 months ago. I'd recently moved into a small house in the suburbs of Houston. Nothing fancy, just a modest place with a front yard, a porch, and that quintessential American dream vibe. I work from home as a software developer, which means I order a lot of stuff online. Computer parts, books, household items, you name it. First, everything was fine. Packages would arrive. I'd get a notification, and I'd find them waiting on my porch. But then things started getting weird. Your package has been delivered. The app would notify me. I'd go outside, and there'd be nothing there. The first time it happened, I figured it was just a mistake. Maybe the driver marked it as delivered before actually dropping it off. I waited a few hours, still nothing. I called USPS customer service, and after being on hold for what felt like an eternity, they assured me the package would arrive the next day. Didn't. Then it happened again, and again. Always with USPS deliveries, never with other carriers. I started keeping careful track. In a single month, I had 5 packages marked as delivered that never actually showed up. Each time I called USPS, the response was the same. Our records show the package was delivered to your address. Perhaps it was stolen from your porch. But here's the thing, I work from home. My office window faces the front yard. I would have noticed if someone was stealing packages from my porch in broad daylight. And why would they only steal USPS packages and leave UPS and FedEx deliveries untouched? After the 5th missing package, I decided enough was enough. If USPS wouldn't help me figure out what was happening, I'd have to take matters into my own hands. I needed evidence. I needed to set a trap. I remember sitting at my kitchen table that night, sketching out my plan on a yellow legal pad. It wasn't just about the missing packages anymore. It was about proving I wasn't crazy. It was about justice. Little did I know that my simple trap would uncover something far more systematic than I initially thought. The plan came together over a weekend. I wasn't trying to get anyone in trouble. I just wanted my packages to actually reach my doorstep. But I needed proof that something fishy was happening. First, I invested in 2 small security cameras. Nothing fancy or obvious, just basic models that I could hide discreetly. I installed one under the eaves of my porch, angled to capture my front door and mailbox. The second went in a tree near my driveway, giving a wider view of anyone approaching the house. These cameras were motion activated and would upload footage directly to my cloud storage. The next step was creating the bait. I ordered a cheap USB charger online, something small and inexpensive, but that would come in a trackable package. The genius part? I sent it to myself. I used my work address as the sender and my home address as the destination. While waiting for my decoy package to arrive in the USPS system, I added another layer to my trap. I took an empty Amazon box and placed it conspicuously on my porch with a fake label that read, "Package contains GPS tracking device." It wasn't true, of course, but I figured it might make anyone with questionable motives think twice. 3 days later, I received the notification that my self-mailed package was out for delivery. I checked the tracking number obsessively throughout the day, watching as it moved from the distribution center to the local post office and finally onto the delivery truck. At 2:17 p.m., my phone pinged with the notification, "Your package has been delivered." I was sitting in my home office at the time. I had a clear view of my front porch. No USPS truck had stopped at my house. No postal worker had walked up my driveway. Nothing had been delivered. But according to USPS, my package was sitting on my doorstep. I checked my camera footage immediately. Not a single person had approached my house in the past hour. The evidence was clear. Someone had marked my package as delivered without actually delivering it. Now I had proof, digital, time-stamped evidence, but I wanted to see if this was a one-time mistake or something more. So I decided to wait and repeat the experiment. A week later, I mailed myself another package. Same result. Marked as delivered, but the cameras showed no delivery attempt. That night, I compiled all my evidence. Timestamps from the USPS tracking system, corresponding video footage showing no delivery attempts, a list of previously delivered packages that had never arrived. I created a detailed timeline and backed up all my video files. I was ready to confront USPS with what I'd found, but I had no idea how deep this rabbit hole would go. Armed with my evidence, I walked into the local USPS branch on a Tuesday morning. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead as I approached the counter, clutching a manila folder containing printouts of my tracking information and screenshots from my security footage. "I'd like to speak with a manager, please," I said to the clerk, trying to keep my voice steady despite the adrenaline pumping through my system. The manager, a woman named Patricia with graying hair and glasses hanging from a chain around her neck, led me to a small office in the back. I explained my situation, laying out the evidence of multiple packages marked as delivered that never actually arrived. "This has happened 7 times in the past 2 months, I explained, sliding the folder across her desk. "And I have video evidence proving that no delivery attempts were made on at least 2 occasions. Patricia frowned as she reviewed my documents. "This is concerning," she admitted, "but I'm not sure what you expect me to do. The system shows the packages were delivered." "That's exactly the problem," I countered. "Someone is marking packages as delivered without actually delivering them. That's mail fraud." The word fraud changed her demeanor instantly. She straightened in her chair and assured me she would file a formal complaint and launch an internal investigation. But something in her tone suggested this would be filed away and forgotten. I left feeling frustrated but not defeated. That evening, I took a bold step. I posted my story and evidence on Reddit's r/USPS community. I was careful not to name specific employees or even my exact location, but I shared my experience in detail, along with edited clips from my security footage showing the timestamps of supposed deliveries, with no postal workers in sight. The post exploded overnight. By morning, it had thousands of upvotes and hundreds of comments. Many people shared similar experiences. Some current and former USPS employees chimed in with possible explanations, ranging from overworked carriers cutting corners to meet quotas, to more sinister theories about package theft. 2 days later, a reporter from the Houston Chronicle contacted me through Reddit. She wanted to run a story about my experience and the broader implications for mail delivery reliability. When the article appeared in both the online and print editions of the newspaper, things escalated quickly. The headline read, "Houston resident catches USPS falsifying deliveries with homemade trap." My phone rang that afternoon. It was Patricia from the post office. "We need to talk," she said, her voice tense. "The postmaster for the Houston district wants to meet with you." The meeting with the district postmaster took place in a conference room at the main Houston postal facility. The walls were adorned with USPS posters promoting reliability and integrity. Ironic, given the circumstances. The postmaster, a stern man named Robert Jenkins, was accompanied by someone from their internal investigations unit. They didn't waste time with pleasantries. "We've reviewed your evidence," Jenkins said, "and conducted our own investigation over the past week. I want to personally apologize for what you've experienced." I was stunned. I'd expected defensiveness, maybe even accusations that I'd fabricated the evidence. Instead, they were taking full responsibility. As it turned out, my trap had exposed a systemic issue. The carrier assigned to my route had been falsifying delivery scans for months. Not just my packages, but dozens of others. He'd been marking items as delivered at the beginning of his route to improve his performance metrics, then actually delivering them days later, if at all. "This is a clear violation of our policies and federal regulations," Jenkins explained. "The carrier in question has been terminated, and we're conducting a broader audit of delivery practices across the district." They offered me compensation for the missing packages and assured me that my deliveries would be closely monitored going forward. They even asked if I would be willing to participate in a training program for postal workers about delivery verification and accountability. 2 weeks later, I received a formal letter of apology from USPS headquarters. My story had triggered changes beyond just my local post office. They were implementing new safeguards in their tracking system and enhancing their internal monitoring processes. The most satisfying moment came a month after my meeting with the postmaster. I ordered a new monitor for my home office. The tracking showed it was out for delivery with USPS. At precisely 11:42 a.m., a postal truck pulled up to my house. The carrier, a new face, carefully brought the package to my door, rang the doorbell, and waited until I answered before handing it to me directly. "Just want to make sure you get this," he said with a knowing smile. As he walked back to his truck, I checked my phone. The tracking status had updated to delivered at exactly 11:43 a.m., 1 minute after the actual delivery, not before. It might seem like a small victory, but to me it represented something important. Sometimes you have to set a trap to catch a problem. Sometimes you have to be your own advocate. And sometimes, when the system fails, it takes one person willing to document the failure and demand accountability to create change. My packages don't disappear anymore. And from what I've heard through the grapevine, neither do my neighbors. All because I mailed myself a trap, and USPS walked right into it.